Yo, what is up everybody? My name is ChessPinG98 and today we have a tutorial on how to make outro slash end cards. So I asked you guys recently if you guys wanted to see some tutorials and a lot of people said yes. So I'm going to be doing this often, showing you guys the little bit I know on stuff that's graphics related. And today we're going to do an outro slash end card, and it's going to be for my good friend Exelian. He requested me to do this one, and I'm like, you know what, it's a great idea to start off my tutorial. So we're gonna start by doing outro, which is not an animated one. That will be possibly for another video, but today we're gonna show you guys an end card. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a new project, and it's going to be the dimensions of 1280 by 720, or you could do 1920 by 1080 depending if you want a 1080p. But you know, we're just gonna work with the standard 1280 by 720. So let's remove the white. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two boxes for their thumbnails, as in saying previous video and random video. So let me open up a thumbnail that I've done, and it's gonna be here. And we're going to, let's say we're gonna open this thumbnail so we can get the size of it, which is just 1920 by 1080, and we're gonna resize it. And the way to resize it so it doesn't, like, say for example, you see when you resize it sometimes you stretch it out and whatever, you can just press shift drag, it will maintain its aspect so it doesn't get distorted. So there you go, there we have it. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, and we're gonna make two. So a quick tip on how to duplicate stuff is that just by pressing Alt and you drag it, it makes a copy of it. So there we go. We have two, and we're gonna select both layers and move them around till they're about in the center. You can't really tell, but you know, let's actually make the line in the middle to see where the center is. Okay, here's where the center is, and we're gonna drag these two, make them centered. There we go, that's center right there. Okay, now let's get rid of this line. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the border for our thumbnails, because, or we could just leave them black, which is could be the thing, but it looks better if you actually add a border. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a new layer, grab a rectangle tool right here, and make sure that the fill right here, it's on this black, this gray box with a red dash, so it's it doesn't fill. And for the stroke, we can make it white or whatever color you want, and the size you can change. I'm gonna put 12 for the size, and once we have it here, I'm gonna be making a rectangle like this, and there you guys have it. That's gonna be the, maybe move a little bit over here, that's gonna be the borders for the thumbnails. And like I said, just press Alt, apply. I'm gonna press Alt, and I'll make a copy of that, put it on top of that. There you go. Now we don't need the thumbnails anymore, so we can just delete those, and we have the basic idea of the outro. So now that we have this done, you can either, obviously you don't have to do it like this, you can just have one on top of the other, which is sometimes does look good, basically like this. But in this case, we're going to have one next to each other. So after this, it basically depends on what you want to do, but in this case we're going to actually make the background a little color. We're gonna make it purple, because purple and like a dark green possibly. It's not gonna be like, maybe, it all depends if it looks good or not. Okay, that does not look good. Okay, yeah, it's not gonna look good. So what we're gonna do is change this purple to a maybe a lighter green. Oh no, this is not like the final thing. Okay, it seems a little bit too dark. Yeah, we're gonna change this a little bit lighter. The gradient tool. This is a gradient tool, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But we're gonna be doing that, and there we go. It's not the final product, but we're going somewhere. And we're gonna use for the background, you could always vector one, but in this case, to make it simple, we're actually gonna take this Phantom that was custom made. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but when I tried copying this, as you guys can see, when we copy and then we try pasting it on Photoshop, nothing happens. And when I try dragging the clip, nothing happens either. So this is kind of there's maybe another way, but this is how I do it just to save time. I just print screen it. I just print screen the picture and I just paste it underneath the rectangles. I'm gonna paste it underneath the rectangle. As you guys can see, it's got this white it's the white outside of it. So we're just gonna grab the magic wand and click on any area that's white, and to delete you can either just press cut or you can just press Control X. It will get rid of that and kind of miss the spot right here, so you can just select that and just press Control X. As you can see, we have the Phantom in transparent. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out a little bit, and to do that you can press Control and the minus. You will zoom out. So we're going to make this bigger like this. So basically, so it covers a decent amount. Maybe it won't be that noticeable, but we don't really want it to. So we're gonna do that. Boom. And now, like I said before, the background is gonna be this color. We're gonna obviously gonna change it, so we're gonna find two different colors that will match this, or at least look decent. Since this is a ghost grass type, which is why I wanted the purple, but we might not work. However, I'm gonna try some different color variations of purple and gray, see maybe it works. It's always a trial and error. You can see right here, see this kind of looks good. Maybe switch this gray to give it a more better color. Maybe change it to purple. Let's see about this. Okay, so we have this so far, and I think this is a pretty good color. So what we're gonna do is, on the picture of the Phantom, there's different modes of the picture. I usually like to go with overlay. As you can see, there's not much different, but if we turn this picture black and white by pressing Control U, or you can just go to right here where it says, where is it, hue and saturation, it's easier. You can change it, but I like to press Control U. It's the fastest way. And now for the saturation, we're gonna go it down. As you can see, it gives it a better texture, but this is not, obviously not the finished product. But I'm not gonna do this in this case. So I'm actually gonna find some textures online. So we're gonna be going on doing some textures online. So let's see, we're gonna be looking just background textures. So after we search up background texture, just go to images and just find a texture that will look half decent, like this one right here. I really like this because it's not just one simple color. It's not too dark, it's not too bright. It's either this one or this one. Nah, this one's better. So we can just right click and copy this picture and paste it above the Phantom, above this layer. Make sure that it is above. As you can see, this picture, as it's really good, great quality. It's obviously bigger than 1280 by 720, so we can always resize it, or you can make it bigger and just like have parts of it, which is what I'm gonna do here. And now after we have this, after clicking on overlay or any type of mode, you'll see that the picture itself gets and the background gets some textures. So you can just play around with the different type of modes until you find one that looks good, or that's your preference. But in this case, things like overlay, it's the only good one. And I think we might have to increase the saturation on this one, maybe not. But you know what? I'm gonna not decrease it all the way down, but I'm gonna leave it a little bit so it's noticeable. And then we're gonna lower the opacity on it so it's not that visible. Something like this. Something like this looks pretty good. Now we might be able to change the mode. Now that's like that, but we're gonna leave it like this, and you don't have to just use one texture. You can always use more textures. That was just for the base picture. Maybe we find another one so it gives it more, maybe like a design wise. Let's look up background designs. So after this is like designs for basically the background so it doesn't look bland, you know what I mean. So we could use these. They have a watermark, obviously they have a watermark. You can just find different types of textures. Maybe we can find a good one here quickly. I don't want to take too much time with this. It's not that important. We could look at patterns. Maybe, yeah, let's look at patterns and see if we find a good one. Patterns, like this one is pretty good, but it's got the watermark. We could use this, however, it doesn't look as good. Ooh, this one right here looks pretty good. So we're gonna copy this and we're gonna go paste it above the phantom, so you can see if we stretch it out. There you go. You stretch it out and you can see it. Ooh, that's gonna give it a really good touch to this. Now we press apply, as you can see right there. And if we change the mode again to overlay, it will look good, but not necessarily you have to have it blue. You can always mess around with the hue and saturation. Like I said, control U and change it around the colors to the color you might find interesting. In this case, I'm gonna use like a darker purple, but not too dark so you can't really see. Possibly something like this. That looks pretty good actually. And now that we have that, we are gonna go with the parts of subscribe. Basically what you want your audience to know, or just any social media stuff, anything works. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a previous video and random video. So what I like to do is grabbing the rectangle tool, and this time make sure that fill is selected to white. Okay, we have selected white. And now the stroke, we make it so it's not visible. And we're gonna make a rectangle around here to here. Obviously smaller, just drag it like this. You could drag it all the way, it all depends on you, but I'm not gonna do it all the way. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space so it looks good, and move this a little bit. Like I said before, you don't honestly have to do what I'm doing, but if it works, then you can use this technique if you really like it. So there we go, we have that. That looks pretty good. So just press Alt, and another trick, sorry about that. You can press Alt and Shift at the same time, and it won't, like, see, I'm moving my mouse up and down and it only moves it left to right. That's a good technique as well. So there we go. We have these two that are the same. Or we could just have it like this, so it looks more professional, and which is I actually like this, the way this is turning out. So now that we have this, we're gonna write with our text tool what information you want there to be. So we're gonna type in previous video, and like I said, you can use any font. You don't necessarily have to use the font I'm using. And we're gonna reduce the size to possibly 48. I think that's too big. Yes, that is too big. Make it smaller. We make this to possibly 30. Okay, 30. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And we're gonna center it. As you can see, there's a line that indicates you where the center of that rectangle is, and it's right here. So then we can just press Alt and drag it right here, but instead of saying previous video, it's gonna say random video. Random video. There we go. And maybe because it's more letters, it's not centered to the center, so you can always move it. There we go. That looks about right, and as you can see, it's taking out a good form right now. So a trick on how to make this text better, or basically just like have it more whatchamacallit, give it a more 3D-ish look, or just don't make it plain, is what we can do is we can group the two text layers by selecting both. You can just press control and then click on the second layer, or you can just press shift and then we're gonna press control G to make them to a group. Then we're gonna duplicate them by right clicking and press duplicate group. We're gonna just leave it to copy. And now this is a very important thing. You right click on that layer and then you press merge group. This will basically make it so it's all in one. So after doing this, it flattens the image and it's not text anymore, it's a image. So what we're going to do is we're going to press control U and make the lightness all the way down so it's black. So now after you have that, we're going to zoom in a little bit. This will make your text have a little bit of better texture, or basically just so it doesn't look plain. So now that we have this, we're going to drag this layer underneath the folder of the group. Make sure you don't put it above it, because as you can see, it's gone and it's actually inside the group. We don't want that. We actually want it underneath. So as you can see, there's a difference. You see when this box is highlighted as to the line highlighted, you want the line. So it's underneath, and we're gonna move it like 3 or 4 pixels by just clicking your arrow key, 1, 2, 3. But since this is a small text, we only have to do it 1 or twice. And by lowering the opacity, it makes it like it's a 3D-ish feel. You know what I'm saying? It's not bland anymore, and as we can see, it's not very like that noticeable, but it does makes a difference on the text. So that's a pretty good technique that I like to use. After we have this, we're just going to have a, you know what, actually I'm actually gonna write, I wonder how you can, like I said, there's always chance of improvement. Maybe if I wrote 2 question marks, it might look good, but you know what, since it doesn't look that good, I'm just not gonna do it. Okay, now that we have that, we could also do the same with the rectangles. Like I said, we're gonna group them and then we're gonna duplicate them, then merge. Now we're gonna make them black. Basically it gives it like a shadow, but okay, wrong. I was supposed to merge them to with, okay, I see what you see. I only merged the 2 rectangles at the bottom. I didn't actually merge the boxes, so we're gonna do that. As you can see right here, this box and this other box is just messed up. So what we're gonna do is trying to find the layer where the, okay, we found them. So it's this one and this one and this one. Now we're gonna merge those layers, and after those layers are merged, we're gonna duplicate them and press Control U. Lighten this all the way down so it's black. As you can see, everything is now black, and now we're gonna drag that underneath that one. And like I said, a couple more pixels, but since this is a bigger, you can actually do more than just 3 or 4. We're gonna have it like that. You see it right here, and since the background is kind of dark, you won't be able to see it. It won't be as noticeable, but it will still be there. So we're gonna leave it like, let's see, yeah, that seems about right. So we're gonna leave it like around 29, 30, I don't know, it depends on what you like, but I'm gonna leave it like that because I really like how this thing is turning out. So now that we have this, we are going to add subscribe if you want to. Honestly, it's not necessary that you need it, but I like to put subscribe just so it's not too bland. So now that we type subscribe, we can actually make this a bigger text and focus more on it. We could put either in the bottom or in the front, but in this case I'm going to put in the bottom. Make sure it's centered in the middle. By that, we'll see this line that's right here. That will indicate where the middle is. And you know, since this text is purple and the background is also purple, you won't be able to see it, which is why we're gonna change it to white by highlighting the color, going to this color box and going to white, pressing OK. That will change the color to white. I apologize for that. I forgot to put my Skype on mute. So what we're gonna do is, after I said to subscribe, like I said, you can duplicate the text and put the black shadow underneath. I'm not gonna do that for now, just to make this quicker. And now, after we have this subscribe button, now we're gonna have social media. So you can always have a Twitter, which is what I'm gonna do in this case. And this guy's Twitter is Axelian. Oops, Axelian YT. So now we have this. We're gonna make this obviously smaller because it's not as important, and we don't want it to take much space basically. And we can have it either here. You could basically put it anywhere, but you know what? I like it right here at the top. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find a Twitter icon, but I already have one, I believe. It's gonna be hard to find it though because I did it a long time ago. And I don't remember exactly where it is, so I might not end up using that. Maybe if I find it. Oh, I think it's here we go. It's this one, and it has. You guys probably can't see it right now, but if we change it to this one, oh, wrong one. There we go. You can see it right here. It's Twitter and Instagram. This person, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an Instagram, so we're just gonna use Twitter. Let's get rid of that. And I'll leave this template in the description if you guys want to download it and modify it for your liking, or you can just use this as a reference to making your own. I would prefer that you guys make this as reference as your own, but I mean you can always do whatever you want, honestly. And now we have this. We're gonna move Axelian YT a little bit up so it looks aligned to the Twitter, and there we go. That looks pretty good. And we're almost done with this outro. As you guys can see, it turned out from a blank piece of nothing to this semi-decent looking end card. So another thing that I like to do, as you guys can see, we're gonna do what I have in this thumbnail. This white I don't know what you would call it, just this white line at the bottom. If we have one at the bottom, one at the top, it'll make it look really good. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and by that we're going to need the help of the pen tool. Make sure it's on shape, not on path. Fill is white, and like I said, stroke is nothing. So we're going to start by choosing a point where you want the highest point to be. Then on the end, you're going to do, say if you want to like right here, so you're going to stretch it out so it's not all straight and it looks like it's going down. So I think that looks good. And then at this end point, you're gonna press Alt and click on it. That way it'll delete this big line. And because if you don't do that, this is what will happen. If I try click one, see this curve? We don't want this curve. We want just a line down. There we go. Put it right here. Oh, a little bit more. And there we go. That looks pretty good right there. Now press OK and look at this. It's looking really good. And you can always decrease the opacity on it, or you can, like I said, do it another mode like overlay. But you know what, I'm just gonna keep it white. Or I mean, yeah, this overlay actually doesn't look half bad. So we're gonna do it like this. That way it's not a lot of white. And yeah, I don't think we can do anything else. I mean, you obviously could, but I think this is enough for this demonstration. So thank you guys so much for watching. By the way, I want to thank you guys so much for the votes of the video that I announced if you guys wanted tutorials, because if it wasn't for that, I obviously wouldn't be doing this one. But also, I want you guys to comment down below what thing would you like me to do a tutorial on next time. It could be a layout, a thumbnail, a banner, anything graphics related, a serious logo. I will do that hopefully anytime within the next week. So thank you guys for watching, and vote for the next episode, because I want to do more of these, because I really do enjoy doing these, and a lot of people ask me and it's hard to respond to every single person. So that's why I made a video telling people how to do this. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Chespin Jr. 98, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.